Who wants to weigh in? Were you guys surprised, not surprised with what you see here? Somebody talk to me. Kale.
I was more surprised that there were a lot less achievements.
Okay. Anybody else surprised that there were more on this side, not more on the achievement side?
Yeah.
Yeah. The first time I did this exercise, I was pretty blown away by how many Post-it notes were on this side rather than this side. Because I think we get tricked into believing that this is the stuff that really matters. We get tricked into believing how many points you score, how many games you win, what college you get into, what job you get, how much money you make. We get tricked into believing that that's what really matters. When in reality, everyone I talk to, every person I study, all the research of people on their deathbed shows that this is what matters. The influence, the impact that you have on other people, and who you become as a person in that process. Those are the only two things that matter. Francis Chan says that our greatest fear in life should not be a failure. It should be a succeeding at things in life that don't really matter. Every day people walk out of their house and they think if they get more of this stuff, if they get more likes on social media, if they score more points, that's going to change things for them. That stuff doesn't matter. And I'm worried that so many people are going to get to the end of their life, are going to get to the top of the ladder, and they're going to realize their ladder was on the wrong building. Right? And so if this is the stuff that matters most, then why don't we start focusing on this stuff today? And the funny thing is, when you put first things first, second things aren't suppressed, they're increased. So when I focus on this stuff, I'm actually going to get more of this stuff. When I focus on the person that I'm becoming, I'm going to win more games. When I focus on the teammate that I'm becoming, I'm going to score more points. Does that make sense? But when we focus on this stuff, it's like trying to put a bunch of pressure on a beach ball to keep it underwater. The more pressure you put on it, the harder it is to keep it underwater, right? The more you focus on this stuff, the less you're going to get of it. And if you do get it, it's going to leave you feeling really empty and hollow inside. I remember my first year coaching football at this school. Our JV and freshman teams went 1-15 that year. Because the only thing I was focused on as a coach was, did we win the game or not? Right? And it wasn't just up to me, it was up to those players. But it's funny that when I was focused on this stuff, we didn't get any of it. That's got to be the worst combined record of any program in the history of the state, right? And when I changed my perspective as a coach, it's funny, we started winning those football games. And it's not just up to me, it's those players. But that's the mindset that you've got to have. And so what I want you to do is start focusing on this stuff today. Start scoring yourself on a new scorecard. Stop letting society judge you on this scorecard and start grading yourself on this stuff. And so if you think about those three characteristics of the person that you most admire, I want you to pick one. Pick one that you want to get better at. Right? If I think about Mrs. Montague across the hall, I see her every day. She's so patient. I would kill to have 1 ounce of the patience that she has. And so if that's the person that I want to become, then maybe I'm grading myself on patience. And maybe I grade myself on that twice a day. So when you're in the lunch line today, I want you to take 30 seconds. That's all this takes. Take 30 seconds and ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, how did I do this morning on the characteristic that I want to get better at? Just pick one. Don't try and do all three. Pick one. Ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, how did I do this morning? And then when you're brushing your teeth at night today, or this evening, ask yourself again, how did I do this afternoon? And when you start to measure that, First of all, if you don't measure something, you can't get better at it. So you have to measure it in order to get better. I can't just say, Mrs. Montague's really patient, I want to become a more patient person, and then not grade myself and expect things to change. Does that make sense? You can't improve what you don't measure. So I've got to measure it. Okay, so if you plot your scores over the course of the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, if I say if this is 1, this is 10, and then this is each day here. If I plot my scores, so this morning, let's say my patience was a 6, and then that night it was an 8, and then the next day I had a really bad morning, okay afternoon, and I start to plot my scores. Don't focus on the days that you were bad. Look at the overall trend. So if I draw a line here, that's where the overall trend's going, right? And so if you trend yourself over the course of 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, are you getting closer to the characteristics that you want to develop? And just like anything, you can't do it once. You can't grade yourself twice today and expect things to change, right? There is no insta greatness. There is no insta change. You'll have to do this consistently for 30 days, 60 days to see any sort of results. But I promise you, if you do this consistently, if you grade yourself on these characteristics consistently twice a day for the next 30, 60 days, you will love what it produces. All right? Thanks for coming today. Before you guys leave here today, if you didn't get to sign in on Tuesday, please sign in.